Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general tarot reading for Aquarius for the week of September 28th through October 4th. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a Five of Swords. This seems like we're trying to formulate a plan, right? I feel like a lot of you are trying to either figure out the next step or trying to get your thoughts organized, get some sort of a plan finished or refined. I kind of feel like this card is saying that we kind of just need to go, you know? That maybe we're not going to figure out the perfect route. Maybe we're not going to get the perfect plan, or we're not going to get all the information or all the data, right? So it may just be that we need to go forward now, even without all the answers. Kind of telling ourselves it's okay to not know. It's okay to not have a finished plan. It's kind of like we'd rather go forward with half a plan than with no plan at all. Okay? We'd rather just go forward than not go forward. Yeah. So I feel like Spirit's kind of trying to tell you, or this card's trying to tell you, take what you have now and start implementing it. Start moving forward. Start the active portion of it, you know. And maybe that's going to give you the feedback that you need to secure the plan, you know, to get the answers that you're looking for, maybe are only going to be gained through experience. So for a lot of you, it's been a lot of thinking about something. I think now it's kind of like, let's just do it. We're never gonna have a perfect, a perfect kind of picture of something. Okay, let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what's going on here. We have a Seven of Pentacles, we have a Nine of Wands, Eight of Swords, Seven of Swords, and a Prince of Swords. The Prince of Swords, however, is your superpower card. So to me, it feels like this is you. Okay, this is you going forward with that kind of incomplete information or incomplete plan, and sort of doing it anyway. Okay. Here we have the Devil card, Six of Pentacles, 10 of Cups, beautiful, and a Five of Cups. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here with Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. We're not going to name the eternal name until the very end. But it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments below the video. Okay, now, as we look around the room, we see one major arcana card. We've got some fire under the surface, and then we've got some water. We've got air, and a little bit of earth. Okay, a lot of air here. So I feel like there really is this, trying to figure something out kind of energy for you. And then we've got our Seven of Pentacles here, which is a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, and not always seeing the results. Okay, so I feel like you're somebody that's not really going to quit on something. I feel like once you get started, you're going to keep learning in that movement. Okay, so these two cards together are exactly that. You've got to learn from experience here. The part of this that you don't know is going to be gained by doing it. Okay, so you have half a plan, let's say, right? You go and you do your best, and of course, you're not going to get everything right the first time, but you're going to get that very important feedback that is going to allow you to gain in that information, to figure out what the next piece of the puzzle is. Okay, so that Seven of Pentacles is saying go out and take some concrete steps, even if you might fumble it, even if you might have the wrong answer, even if you might sort of fall down a little bit. That's okay, because that's how you're going to learn what otherwise is just a bunch of thinking. You got the will, you got the strength to do it, but it's just a lot of thought. Okay? So I feel, and also in some ways, I think Spirit's kind of telling you, like, if you don't know exactly what you want to do right now, start a lot of different things and see which ones your mind and your heart and your soul kind of gravitate toward, and finish those. You don't have to finish everything you start. That's one thing about this card. You don't have to finish everything. It's okay to leave some things incomplete. If you're advancing on a particular path and you say, okay, I don't need those things anymore, you're refining your energy as you go. Okay? So I think that some of you have been looking for too many answers before you begin something. Spirit's saying just begin. And if you don't know exactly what to begin a lot of different things. Okay? And then cancel some of those when you realize that those ain't it. And that's okay to do that. All right? So start a lot of things, and you're going to end up finishing a few of those things. With the Eight of Swords back here, I feel like a lot of you have been kind of juggling too many tasks. Okay, this is a card of like too many thoughts, too much complexity, maybe trying to do too many things at once. I feel like your mental bandwidth is sort of getting too full, too occupied. So I think simplicity for a lot of you is going to be the way to go this week. Just try to narrow it down, and you might have to do that by just taking a couple steps on a lot of different paths, and you'll very quickly realize, no, that wasn't it. Okay, and so you're able to simplify things by not by thinking about it, because we might think about something and say, well, that could be the right thing, it could work, that could be the path for me, that could be the choice, that could be the next step. We're never really going to know until we try it, and then we say, well, no, obviously not that one, And so I think it's a good way for us to refine the options that are before us right now. And I feel that you have this ability to follow through in your life, but it's just a matter of kind of being too scattered almost mentally, And so I think that there's a refinement, a mental refinement that's going on here, and I think that's going to happen through you experimenting. It's trying to pick a major in college or something, and you don't know what you want to do, so you just go take a bunch of classes. Well, as you do that, you'll spend a few days in a particular class, and then you might think, well, okay, that one might work, so I'll keep that one. This one over here, though, no way. That's a big no, big hard no for that one. And that's going to start culling down the options for you, start narrowing things down. Okay? So simple is going to be best for you. And I think that's kind of what you're after right now, is just a simple plan that you can put all your trust in. The Seven of Swords is saying that we don't really know what we want to do. Okay? And so we want to be able to trust. We want to have one direction for ourselves right now. We want to be able to trust that direction. But see, that Seven of Swords is any direction that I choose, there's a lot of these other little swords poking holes in it. And so this is a card really of not only distractions, but of mistrust. So, I think in the mental sphere, when we start to hone in on something that we think we're going to commit to, there's a lot of other reasons that come and say, well, maybe that's not really the right one. And so what do? We just go back and forth with ourselves. I think that's why the earth energy here, this Seven of Pentacles, is the way to go. Just to take some actions, okay? Just to experiment, for temporarily go do it for a day or two. And that's going to help you to know, to really narrow it down and to be able to trust. I think what you really are looking for is just to pick one path, whatever it might be for you, and to have that sort of, that trust in that, okay? The Eight of Swords, again, is kind of a lot of these, a lot of chatter. Even the Seven of Swords, it's like a lot of side quests, a lot of mental chatter here that is preventing you from locking in on the one thing. The Prince of Swords, which is your superpower card, okay? I think that this is saying, like, this is that one clear yes, okay? So this week, I think it would be a good idea for you to dabble in a few different things. Whatever whatever at the top of your list, right? The first like 5 things on your list, try them out. See how they feel in practice, and see if you can narrow that down to a shorter list. Okay, whether you're talking, in your career or in your creative work or whatever you're doing in life. This is that card of saying yes to something. Okay, and I think that this is kind of like the one thing that you can control right now is what you say yes to and what you sort of attempt, or what you sort of experiment with, or what you practice, or what you try out. I think this is a week for trying out different things. Yeah, to see what is really going, see what's going to make you want to commit. See, we got that 9 of Wands down here, which is showing me that you have this inner strength to commit, that you want to pick something and you want to give it everything you've got. And I think that once you find that thing, this energy in you, this strength inside of you, this power is going to really make itself known. Okay, I think part of the 7 of Swords, the issue there is that you believe that if you pick one thing, that if you decide on the one, then you're going to lose all these other chances. Okay, that's the kind of belief that's going to keep us paralyzed and keep us, our energy is going to be scattered, and we're not going to accomplish really like anything. Okay, so I would think a good practice for you is to take the first 3 or 5 things that seem like good ideas for you, and pick one that you can experiment with this week, or however many. But at minimum, do one thing and actually practice it, and actually go and explore it in the physical world, and you'll know if it's meant for you. You'll know if it sort of feels right. Okay, the 9 of Wands is that energy that when you're connected with that sense of purpose, there is this enthusiasm, there is this confidence, there's this stamina that rises up in you. This is that inner strength, and I think that this is your ability to commit to something long term. And I don't know what we're talking about here, but I know that you've been thinking about it for a long time. Once you find it, you're going to want to commit to it. And I think that's kind of like what you're looking for. It's like if you're taking a bunch of classes at university and you're like, I don't know what I want to commit to. Well, when you find it, you'll know. But you're not going to find it by just intellectualizing, by just thinking about it. Okay? So this is really the time for you to, this week, to pick one thing and attempt it. Try it out. It doesn't mean, just because you're going to try something out, that doesn't mean you're committing to it. You can say, nope, I don't like it, I'm done. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to go back there tomorrow. Maybe it's the job or career or studies, or maybe it's you're trying to find a book to read. I don't know. You can dabble. You can pick one up, read a few pages. You don't like it, just say, nope, that wasn't it. It's the process of elimination, right? And then when you find that one, you're going to say, that's the one that I can read all the way through. This is the one that I really want to follow through with, okay? And then, of course, with your Prince of Swords, you have that ability to commit to that one thing, okay? Now, in the path of the Serpent, you have that devil energy too. And I think the devil energy in some way is that feeling like once we commit to something, we have to finish it. And I think right now you're being told, at least for this week, okay, it's not like any kind of absolute rule or anything, but right now, what you decide to explore, you don't have to commit to. The devil card is the card of climbing that mountain, right? You put the goat in front of any mountain, it's going to climb the mountain all the way to the top. Well, what if you get to the top and you realize, oops, this wasn't my mountain? What if you climb that corporate ladder and you think, whoops, I had my ladder up against the wrong building? So you have to be aware of that. You have to get that kind of feedback as you go, and you have to you have to explore a lot of different things to know what's really meant for you. It's not an intellectual exercise. You can't think it through, really, right? It's through the experimentation. It's through the trying. Climb a few feet up the mountain and you say, no, I'm not feeling this one. This one isn't it. Okay? And I think doing that is going to allow you to know, to really figure out, like, what is really motivating you? What is it that you really want? Okay? Why do you want to climb any mountain at all? So we're kind of getting to the core aspects of your creative will. Okay? And what you're really after. I think that's important. What is motivating you? That's one question of the devil card here, is like, why are you willing to commit yourself to something? Like, what is it for? Why are you doing the things you're doing? And I think the biggest mistake of this card is us feeling like once we set out on a path, we have to follow through. We have to commit to it. Okay? That by taking the first step on a path, that we're suddenly married to that path, but you're not. Okay? At least for this week, to allow yourself to try things out and to say, no, I don't like that. Or maybe to try a few things and say, you know what, I found one that I really do, that really I want to commit to. Because this is that ability that you have to commit and follow through and really lock in on something. Okay, this is a card that's saying, once you promise yourself, you don't break your promise. Once you commit to something, you don't take that lightly. Okay? And so I think that maybe there's a lot of this air energy because you believe that once you get involved with something, you have to commit to it. And so rather than doing that, we just stay in our mind, we just think about it to try to figure out what it is we're going to commit to. Well, I think right now the cards are saying, go and explore. Go and experiment a little bit with some of that. Okay? The Six of Pentacles is success. Okay? I think you're going to go through a lot of things that you're not going to want to persist with. You're not going to want to continue. Okay? It's things that you're going to perhaps abandon. We'll take a few steps and we'll say, nah, you know what? I don't like that. Okay? And I think that, you give it whatever is an appropriate time frame. You give it a day or two, or you give it the week, and then you can say, no, you know what? That one's not for me. Okay? The Six of Pentacles is the success. That is the one that you want to find. That's the one that's going to work for you. I think a lot of you are either, choosing a career or trying to choose like a side hustle or choose some kind of a project to get involved with, maybe choosing a place if you're choosing a place to live even, right? It may be really that idea of you've got to go and spend a day in that town to see if that town's right for you. You can't just keep it all up here and just say, I guess I'm going to move, to Denver or whatever. And no, you've got to go and visit Denver. You got to go and spend a day there if you can and see if that really is for you. Before you kind of pick up and move everything over there. Because the Six of Pentacles is what you're really looking for. You want that kind of harmony. You want to feel like this is the right choice for me and I fit in here. Rather than a Seven of Pentacles, which is kind of saying like, I made the wrong choice, but now I'm stuck with it. So in a way, these cards are trying to tell you that before you get stuck with something you don't want, you better go and sample it, right, to in whatever practical way you can do that, to make sure that you don't feel locked in or trapped in something that ultimately is not meant for you. This is the right environment for you. This is a successful place, living situation. This is the job, right, where you fit in perfectly and there's harmony and there's beauty here. Okay, and this is something where you're there and you don't doubt it. This is a place where you know you belong. Okay. The Ten of Cups is a card of satisfaction and satiety and contentment. It's a card of happily ever after. I feel like this is what you want, but this is what you're afraid of. I think a lot of you are kind of nervous that like something needs to be perfect, right? If it's really meant for me, then it should be flawless. Okay, and I think that's a mistake. I think that some of you are kind of worried that that the contentment is never going to really be real. In other words, you may find it hard to ever really be satisfied with anything. Okay, and so it's kind of almost like I'd rather keep all my ideas in my head than put them into practice, because once they get down to the real world, the physical world, let's say, then they're imperfect. But if they're in my head, they can be as perfect as I want them to be. Right? But once they manifest, then you're in the world of duality. And nothing is perfect in this world, you know? And so I kind of feel that we're sort of afraid of committing to something because we know it's not going to be absolutely perfect, absolutely the ideal. Okay, now the thing is we can chase the Ten of Cups knowing that we'll never fully attain it. We can get real close, right? I think we need to, with this card, in a way we need to learn to recognize and appreciate the abundance and the love and the bliss that is around us, and not always feeling as if there could be something better. Maybe if I would have picked a different door, it would have been more perfect. You know, that's kind of that's the challenge of all these swords cards. I mean, you don't have the best cards here, Aquarius. These are not the best cards, but this is all of that mental stress and all of that mental effort that goes into picking something that you're going to commit to. And I think this is absolutely necessary. Now, you have an ideal of what you want perfection to be, what you want your dream life to be. Okay, this is how you want your life to feel. Okay, and I think the feeling is a lot different than what it looks like. So this is that ideal feeling of life, but what is it going to look like? What is the physical form it's going to take? Okay, and I think that as we get further along in this path, you're going to realize that the outer shape is going to be a lot different than you expected. Maybe part of the idea here is that you know what you want your life to feel like, but you don't know what it really is going to look like. And so Spirit could be telling you that you've got to start dreaming in high def. You know, you've got to really be able to picture in all the details what you want your life to look like. And then strive for that, knowing that chasing perfection is always going to lead to disappointment, but chasing contentment and peace, that's attainable, right? The Five of Cups here at the end, it's kind of saying that we run the risk of being that kind of a perfectionist to where no matter how much we achieve in life, we're always going to look at it and be disappointed. This is a card of disappointment. This is a card of saying something should be there, but it's not there. What's missing? Okay? Rather than, sort of experiencing the Ten of Cups, which is saying, nothing's missing. I don't want anything. I have everything that I need. Everything is perfect the way it is. Okay? And I think that we have the choice of what we're pursuing or what our standards are, And I think that this is the week for you to explore and experiment and really acknowledge how you feel as you're trying things out. To be honest and say, that's not for me. I don't want, that doesn't resonate with me. I don't want to go down that path anymore. And to be willing to say, I abandon that path and that's okay. But also to be aware of what it is you're looking for and why you're looking for it. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at our mystery card. Maybe a 10 of Pentacles. It might be an Empress energy. It might be, it might be a 2 of Cups. It might be a Lover's card. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. It's another 9 of Wands, yeah. So the 9 of Wands here is, it's the resilience. It's this idea that we're going to keep looking for something. We're going to keep chasing after something, even if it is kind of wearing us out, you know. And so I feel that, I feel like this is someone that really isn't going to settle for anything less than their perfect life, okay? And I think that's a good thing. But I think we also have to understand, are we chasing something that isn't really truly attainable? It's I don't know. It's either, you know, we're going to continue to struggle and go through this process of finding the absolute perfect thing, or at some point are we going to say this is as perfect as I could ever, as I could get, and this is contentment. And almost it's literally like, are we chasing contentment or are we chasing perfection? Yeah. Because now this 9 of Wands is kind of getting tired of going through one thing after the other and saying, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Yeah. Interesting. We're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Aquarius on Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.